Fratelli, the Rugby podcast.
Hello.
Fratelli, the Rugby podcast. The Italian Rugby podcast. The Italian Rugby podcast. The Italian Rugby podcast.
Ciao, Otto.
Ciao Mike, buonasera a tutti. Welcome in a new episode of Fratelli di Rugby. And
Buonasera.
let's go. I was really happy to see you after last week. It's been already
Yeah,
weeks since we met again, but
yeah,
no, exciting because we were already into the podcast. If we think about like how we started, like which
yeah.
player was the good one, the World
Mate,
Rugby,
it's
a lot of stuff to
yeah,
say.
yeah. I was just gonna say, yeah, no, I agree. Like it was good fun. Having some time away from the family in general. Let's say that last week it was a good few drinks, good laugh. Ottavio introduced me to La Fogaccia as well, which yeah. It's like the elven bread from Lord of the Rings, you know, that where they give, and it's basically what it is. Weirdly proud of it as well. So yeah, no, it was a fun time. But yeah, here we go, mate. Like what a weekend of rugby.
Wow, yeah. Let's start to do a recap, Mike, of the weekend.
I think we need to. Yeah, it feels like so much has gone through.
So something interesting this weekend. Of course, Scotland pulling a really good game against Australia. They were not able to score for long chunks of the game, no points. They were really sitting out. Tuipulotu was playing pretty well. So really good way to play their fourth games. Scotland during this Abdul Nation series, really interesting. The work is there. You can see how good they are.
I know the SRU were really kind enough to fly out his nan. Do you think they'll fly out his Italian granddad when he's playing Italy? And
he was ready. Poor granddad, right? We were ready to say yes. Of course, I remember the time I used to eat. I don't know whatever kind of pasta from the region.
It's so funny.
He was ready to do the sign after scoring.
Ready, so ready. Yeah, so I was wondering if they were like
meatballs.
Yeah. I joked in the chat, but like it was literally them putting out that video and flying her over before Australia played. Obviously, him being born in Australia and grew up in Australia, it was like a dog pissing on a fire hydrant. They're like, he's mine. Just so you know, this is why he's mine.
That's true. So yeah, that was the game. Anyway, Australia closed really, a really honest 1 year after the World Cup and whatever happened, which made, as he said, they're not at the turning point, but they're turning, right? They are there in this long move around. Big Carlo Tizzano, another that loves to talk about pasta, right?
Yeah. That video, for context, guys, I think it was the Australian. I think it was actually the official Australian Rugby TikTok put out a video of Carlo Tizzano, like, and how much he eats. He eats 8,000 calories a day, and then halfway through the video, it's like lunchtime, and there's pasta. He's no, I can't be eating that. Can't be eating that. It's not my nonnas. She'll kill me.
It's not my nonna. So yeah, you can't. You can have that.
Yeah.
So that was the game. Really interesting game at the end. Angus Bell, big prop.
Mate, we're going to be talking about him next year. I know, obviously, you know, he was good under Eddie, and it seems like now he just, I don't know, he just plays like a crash ball centre, mate. Like, imagine that coming at you. He's such an abrasive player. So, mate, next year Lions as well for the British and Irish lot.
That's so cool to think he's already a British and Irish Lions tour. That's really interesting. One shot every 12 years. It's It's really great. I hope they will play against Italy before leaving, like those kind of impossible stuff that you cannot imagine, but maybe one day will
Hey, mate,
happen. Stuff
that
like
that would
that.
sell out. That would sell out a stadium. That'd be good for us as well. Like, yeah, I mean, imagine.
So, well. That was the game. Then England, Japan. Finally, England won the game. Finally,
Yeah.
one game. It's weird to think about it.
Yeah, I think you know what? Like, no disrespect to any of the English listeners, but like, I think that was more. It showed more of a failure of Japan than it was a victory for England, if that makes sense. Because England were always going to win that game. It was by how much, and realistically, like, it got to the stage where everyone just wanted to score near the end. Like, if England played like a team full 80 minutes, that was like a 70-point win. But actually, like, Harry Randall, when he came on, I feel like he had something to prove, and he was like doing, darts around the edges when they weren't on, and everyone wanted to score, as opposed to like scoring, if that makes sense. So like, it was more like a failure from Japan, I think.
Then there was the game there was Wales. Actually, there was South Africa more than Wales, right?
Yeah.
How you want to put that?
Jesus. Yeah, I mean,
too much South Africa, or there was any Wales there? Are you?
Yeah, this is quite an interesting point. For the first time in I don't know how long, this was on the radio on the way back from work. Like, they were discussing it at length. Apparently, Warren Gatlin's in some sort of review at the moment. I think he's going to find out whether or not they're going to make a decision. This is what the radio was saying. But one thing I will say is he cannot right the wrongs of a long period, right? Like, maybe he was part of the problem in 2019, before. Maybe he was part of the problem there, but like, it's not his fault. Like, the team are where they're at. Like, that's not on him. They waited too long to cap. People don't get blooded, and actually then there's a void. We did it. We did the same. Like, we had like Castro Giovanni playing 100 and God knows 115, 116 caps, however many he had, and then Sergio 150. Like, before we blooded players, we had like this massive void of experience, and the people who pick it up are the inexperienced ones that get promoted into the team.
Kind of the process we faced even 4 years ago, if you think, when with Franco Smith, right? After Paris, we know that he played for the other 4 years, but still, the big chunk of that group was out. And if we think that now the oldest, let's say, is Tommy Allen for caps in the
mental,
team,
isn't that?
Roots, we don't have that much. So yeah, it's hard. They have good players, but of course they have to work together in a different way. They know how to create good rugby. They know how to tackle, but sometimes if you have to do only that, and the physicality that South Africa put in that game, come on, was men versus boys. In the first half, they were so strong. Off 9, pick and go, meters. Every carry was over the gain line.
Yeah. I mean, that stat of was it 49 tackles broken?
Yeah, defenders beaten, tackle broken, tackle breaks. Actually, we are called in the ANS report
on the Sage one. Okay, yeah. Mate, I like that's a terrifying stat. But then also, like, we know how quickly defenses can turn around. It's the other side, which takes time, and the attack and needs a clear, concise goal and everyone to buy in. And I'm not sure everyone is buying. And I think a lot of the speculation about if Gat's staying or not has probably made people not really fully commit to the plan. If you're not 100% sure the coach is going to stay and it's a long-term plan, some people probably just won't buy in, especially players who are more experienced and they feel like they know what's best.
Dave Rennie, the guy for the job,
mate. no one can
I
you
don't
know
know why
what?
we're pushing
I
this so
love
much.
Dave Rennie.
Yes,
I
Dave
love
Rennie,
him.
the guy for the job.
You know what, Dave? Listen, mate. May not pay much, but some nice looking
Because they still have
girls.
to finish to play Gats for the next years.
I was gonna say there's some nice looking girls. There's Parma ham, right? There's some good food in the top,
Isn't there?
top of Italy. Like, listen, like just saying, hey, just putting a feeler out there, Dave. Right, listen, I think Brunello could help use a consultant. Just putting it out there, mate. If you're bored,
If you need, yeah, consultant there. Interesting.
maybe we should start a GoFundMe to try and get Dave Rennie as like a zebra consultant.
Let's try. Why not?
Yeah.
Mike, are there a couple of cool games? Let's say there was Ireland Fiji. What do you think about the young boy showing the shoulder at the beginning?
It's a bit stupid, wasn't it? Like, let's be honest. Like, whether it's a red or a yellow, if you agree or disagree,
they can target you so much.
Yeah,
So,
frankly,
yeah,
I just thought it was
bad.
Stupid, mate. To be honest,
except for that, really easy games for Ireland, right? In this end, McCarthy played really well. The hooker, we were commenting with the boys in the chat on WhatsApp about that, how it's going. The good player, a friend of the chat with his friend Ichu Kuzu, if I'm right in the spelling or whatever. He's huge. He's a huge guy.
Big boy, isn't he?
Big boy, yes. From Ulster. So that is interesting. They won, and then France, Argentina.
What's that, sorry?
Right? And then France against Argentina with another victory for France, another good game. Let's say 2 great performance by Ramos on a side and Delbardi, let's say.
So surprising, mate. Like how he just transitioned into 10, like shows his
10, 15,
how
nothing.
quality is. Yeah, just nothing.
He play in slippers, in pantofole. How confident he is, that guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have big injuries. He's good in the air. He can move the ball. He has vision. He has like a Zanetti for soccer. That kind of player, like he's always there, boom, 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 always doing his job, always right. No a lot of mistakes by Ramos usually. Yeah.
Do you think it's the last we'll see of Jalibert?
Oh, it's hard, but probably yes. Maybe somebody else is gonna move forward. Think about also Garcia, the 15 of sorry?
Carbonell.
I don't know. I don't like Carbonell.
Do you not?
So I'm not a supporter. Years ago, yes, I love the way he was playing, but not now.
I haven't watched him much this season, but like he always looked like he had that bit. You know when
I bet more on a story, more traditional on a Garcia that I really loved. The fullback, 10, 15, let's say, in with Bordeaux. Garcia, he can be a really, really good player.
But he's also Spanish qualified, right?
Sorry?
He's also Spanish qualified, right?
Yeah, Garcia.
Maybe he fancies a run out in Spain, right?
Yeah, some of them. But anyway, there was a good game. Not the best way to let's say close with the Autumn Nation Cup for Argentina, but they did their job. Until now, I think a really good 2024, by the way, with one of the few teams with a new coach in charge, which is Felipe Contepomi after Chega. So that is really interesting if you think about how much they can grow, because the project 2027 for them is really strong. If you think how they reach the semifinals, they were so close.
Yeah, I've got a question for you, right? How much of that do you think was due to the foundations laid down by Xhaka, or do you think it's Contepomi that's come in and new identity, new thumbprint on the whole thing?
I think in some areas of the game they see a little bit differently. The way probably the approach in attack is more straight, even if Contepomi was there in attack, straight direct. let's say, but a lot of waves, a lot more of feeling, passion in the way to attack. I would say that probably they need to also to manage better, and probably with Albornoz they found the right way to work with Malia. If you think Santiago Carreras now is out of the, let's say, as a first choice, second choice, not every time's in the bench. So they have Malia. They still miss Boffelli. We didn't see Matteo Carreras at the end, so the team can be really, really strong team, Pumas in the next years. Plus, they have this young Grondona, Oviedo, Gonzalez Samso is amazing, and it's so young. So Rubiolo and Molina, they're working pretty well, and usually some of the players in Argentina they play really well with the camiseta. Sometimes with the club, they're a little bit more, let's say, I don't know, not so gas. I don't know.
Yeah, they get
don't push all the.
Yeah,
that's my.
I know what you mean. They get energized at the right times, don't they? Like internationally, they get
exactly. It's another thing. Maybe that is a superpower for them. More you see them sometimes playing and in other situation not. But anyway, that was pretty interesting by them.
Yeah,
more relaxed. Yes, more relaxed. The Pumas when they come back. Sometimes also when they come back in Treviso, they're more relaxed, if I have to say, and I don't like that. But talking about Pumas, former Pumas already scored a try. Crevi in the friendly match between Zebre and Benetton this weekend under the rain. They score a try with Agustin Crevi. So
good.
Yeah,
good
for
good. He knows his role in that team, right? Bend over and push. Throw it in properly, bend over, push. That's all. Don't care if he does. I don't care if he does a crim off and make 0 tackles in 60 minutes. I don't care. Just bend over, push, score tries. Good. That's all we want you to do. Who cares about anything else? Someone else will pick up your slack, mate. Don't worry.
My God. Talk about
I'm happy.
Who should be slapped for this in this Six Nation? Which team or player completely was off for you?
I mean, it's easy to kick a dog whilst it's down. So I'm going to avoid Wales completely in this conversation because we've been there. We know. let's move away from Wales quickly. A player that needs to be slapped. I think like other crass stupidity. I'm trying to think what else. Obviously, Prendergast on his debut start. Was it 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in, almost got red carded. I think that's
really.
I think he probably deserves a slap, to be honest.
What the F is happening? Why?
Yeah. Oh, you want to throw away, your opportunity. But yeah, I think, it's a tough one, really. Like, I don't think there was anyone who was absurdly stupid. I think, a lot of people are going to point to the last play of the game for Italy, where Capozzo tried to take it quick to Menoncello. Like that, I mean, that probably deserves a slap in a weird way.
Yes,
but
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. Other than that, I think there's not too many other like stupid plays.
No. Actually, it seems like those situations were a little bit more on the edge this week, and then all stuff that happened during the games, let's say. So nothing else. So Mike, slapped and everything. We randomly spoke a little bit about everything. Let's talk about this Italy now. Like this is the time to review the game, and then we can try to put together some points, adding some lines into the picture of Italy at the moment, ahead of the Six Nations.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to quickly answer what Eduardo just asked. I'm sorry. Who was the number 10 for Japan? He normally plays inside center. It's outside center. But yeah. So he plays for
Japan. He plays Toyota Brave Lupus is the team. It's a center more than a fly off, right?
Yeah. It wasn't really fly off. Okay, so there's a couple of things to talk about. First of all, right, like I have been so excited to break down this game. I know we did the polite thing, and we spoke about all the other teams first, but now we're into the meat. We've had like l'antipasto. Now we're in, mate. So I think a lot to break down. But oddly enough, I'm going to start with Quesada's post-match comment because I think that's the most pertinent point that we need to say. And he said he was not satisfied with the result. And that, for me, speaks volumes about who he is as a coach, speaks volumes about where he thinks we are as a team. And also, it means that he doesn't want to hear about plucky results. He doesn't want to hear about that. He wants to hear about wins, and that's the next step in our evolution. I think last year we thought it was going to be this year. We saw some wins. We competed against some fantastic teams, but we're not as consistent as we want to be as a team. I think that's fair to say, and I think for him to say that first and foremost before we even present what we think happened is a nice thing. We should be better. We should do better. We should have done better in that game. And that for me is all I want to say. I think that's beautiful to start off with. So I'll pass the baton to you, Otto, to start off with. Like, what were your thoughts on that game, coach to coach?
Let's start with that. We have to be better. Yes. Where in attack, of course, we have to take our opportunities because the loads of work we do, we have to. We need to get some rewards from the 22 entries, whatever. You have to be able to still
Pressure
kill
territory.
the game. Pressure and territory, great. Even this week, still good territory, good pressure, but then the points are still there. Like against Argentina, is the same. Like we are the top. I sent you many stuff before the game. I'm gonna get it in a second, and then we're gonna do a couple of report for the Patreon to show because it's amazing. We are one of the best team for territory actually at the moment, but we are the team with most turnover, 40 turnovers, which means we always got the ball and then turnover. We miss something. We are pretty good in defense. Talking about New Zealand got 25 penalties, we got 29. Fiji is the most fault, like 42. So we are really low in penalties given, but we have all this amount of time we spend attacking that is not working. It's not working, and that is the issue. On the side, talking about the press conference, Quesada said we are lucky that because we weren't able to show us the new implementation that we put into the game plan. So we didn't see anything new. We saw the old Italy, let's say the new old Italy. We didn't see the Crowley Italy. We see a couple of stuff slightly different, but still we have to develop an attack that can work more because we want to create. We need a line break to create momentum. We need turnover. He spoke about line out. Line out was bad this week. Actually, it was bad, and was one of the reason why we didn't take points.
I agree. But also, like, for context, I think set piece as a whole gone. Like it was gone against New Zealand, but like for context, we are playing possibly one. Like if we're saying South Africa are the best, right? At line out, South Africa are the best scrummagers. They're not far off South Africa. And like obviously this is an interesting thing for us because we've got less than a year to rectify it until the summer, mate, where like we've got South Africa in a double summer test. So it's going to be really interesting to see how we're able to try and come up with a solution to that. And I think realistically, you take the scrum, you take the set pieces, the scrum and line out of the equation. I think, to be honest with you, I think we're in a position to potentially win that game, because they got out of trouble a lot because of their scrum, because of their lineup. I think we sustain that pressure, and maybe we're in a position where, we score a try, not a breakaway try. We score a try after multi-phase. We're not worried about knocking it on because we're going to lose the ball in their scrum. Like, it's just, I think it's a different game if we had that artillery, to be honest.
At least give me one of those two situations. Give me the line out or give me the scrum, and I will be much more happy about this game. And then, yeah, let's highlight this because it was really interesting to see this. Man, it's everything is possible. Yeah. Everything is possible. Maybe that was a little trick they tried to do. Maybe some tricks are coming. Something I remember once they put actually with Crowley they used to do this with the 9 in the front of the line out, sometimes 12 at 13 at the back of at the tail. So we did also those kind of different stuff, and actually also this was highlighted by Quesada. He said we need the line out, at least the line out, because we base the foundation of our game in attack came from line out, from turnover, from line break that bring momentum into that. We don't have the energies, the abilities to fight, to attacking, because then defending we were able to do this. So
yeah,
that's really interesting, right? The difference between breakdown from one side and the other one of the
obviously his main issues were with Maul, right? Let's be honest. He said we attacked twice with the Maul, and we're not really like that's a very Anglo thing. I think we talk about it a lot, like it's quite like an English thing, or just English speaking countries where they're like focus really heavily on like the driving Maul, and the vast majority of their tries come from them driving Maul. Obviously in the Premiership the past 2 or 3 seasons, joint top try scorers have been hookers for that reason. Like there's just so much focus on it.
And then you look at too, if you think
yeah, exactly. You look at URC Scotland. Yeah, I think it's like one of those where we're not that sort of team. Maybe it's because of the sum of our components, which is why. Maybe it's something where it needs work. But if Quesada has like this clear sort of game plan of how he wants to play the game and how he wants to attack, I'm interested to understand as to why we didn't do that this game. Like, because we're never gonna have the opportunity again, like before the Six Nations, to from that quality a team, from that standard a team, to be able to try and learn, like what would happen if we did this against France. Okay, well, the closest analog we have right now is New Zealand, who played France and realistically were unlucky to lose to play the game, and obviously have it so that we're learning something ahead of the Six Nations. Instead, what it seemed like, and maybe this is why he was frustrated, maybe we took the Maul because it was the safer option, or so we thought, right? Like we still retain possession, etc., etc. Maybe he wanted us to be slightly more adventurous. What are your thoughts, Otto?
More adventurous, like not going crash ball, but trying to follow up with the 10-11. That is something that he really likes. For example, he spoke once at the presentation of the Six Nations, I think, to one of the media creator. I don't remember who was, and he said, no, I really like that situation with the 10 and the trailing wing coming into. We didn't see a lot of that. And also, I think we really managed poorly some situation with our hands. Some decision making wasn't the right one in terms of skill. Neither decision making. Sometimes really poor pass in some situation, more than the system. The system worked, but we need the tempo, the right tempo to attack. And sometimes we attack with a ready flat, ready ready to just leave the ground and fight against us. So that is probably something more, because then we found some kind of line breaks. We still create line breaks, 2 less than with Crowley per average. So it's
What's
not
that, sorry?
we create average 2 line breaks less than during Crowley with Quesada. So it's not.
Also, we played harder teams.
We play harder teams. We attack in different area of the
because obviously people forget Crowley's first year. We lost the summer international, the 2 double headers that we meant to have in New Zealand. Right, we lost that. If you average it with those, we probably wouldn't have gotten too many against New Zealand, and you see what I'm saying. So like, we played harder teams, albeit we played a lot of tier 2 nations, and we contributed a lot recently, but
that make a lot of difference if you think about, like, okay, we are getting there, but now we have to be really on point with the execution. Execution is gonna be the key, because if you watch the 3 games, we understand we fucked up in the breakdown in the first game. We fucked up in that situation, mostly when we got the ball. We lose a lot of potential situation in attack because they were able to attack so much, so well our racks in many areas. Let's say in the 15 channels was the issue, which was once again against New Zealand happened in one situation. They attacked really well and they got the turnover there. But anyway, we fixed that. With Georgia, we were able to keep our ball properly. They get 4 balls in total back from turnovers, but then was low the momentum. With New Zealand, focus was defense. They said, Breck said that, Quesada said that with this week, this few training, we're gonna play defense. We're gonna prepare the defense against, because you need a mental strength and connection for defense, because you have to fight not against the All Blacks. You have to fight against the 97, 96 points you got in the face. Last year. So that is the monster wasn't, yes, the All Blacks, but that results is the monster. So you have to fight the monster. You have to
spoke about good fear, didn't he, Quesada? Like,
feel the pressure. Breck said, siamo pronti a sentire la pressione. The pressure they were putting plus what they represent. So I think, yes, we did something well, but fuck, the ball has to go over the line. That's the point.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. Go not.
No, it's that. I mean, is that mentality?
That's the game, isn't it? You have to go over the line to win. That's it. Like, well, unless you have blessed with a cannon of a boot, and it doesn't matter about getting over the line then, mate. It's just about catching the ball. But what I was going to say,
England 39, Argentina 39, just to say.
It's not bad. I was just going to say this, and I think it speaks volumes about what we've learned from this autumn, which is, I asked to you, Otto, like, how do you create pressure? Like, how do you create the pressures that the boys are going to feel in the Six Nations? And Quesada made a load of changes, disrupted the team from Argentina to Georgia, and we went in the first half losing. The mental fortitude to come back, win ugly, fine, that's good. I'd take an ugly win. I'd take a 1-point win. And then the next week, to show the mental fortitude, like you said, Otto, because of like all of the monster under the bed, which was, like you said, the 90 odd points, and like the boys coming home, and obviously a fantastic crowd, and it was something for them to protect, their home, and it was something where they showed that mental fortitude that we really haven't seen before. So I think in terms of what we've learned is potentially an important lesson for the young boys, that this is what the pressure feels like, and this is how you perform to to try and sort of, overcome it.
Absolutely agree with you, and it's interesting. Like, for example, we ended up this game with Zuliani really released, I think, from that pressure to be good, coming in the second half. For example, I have to do all that. He was able to manage. He had his mood in attack and in defense, of course, Zuliani, and that is something that I really like from a player like him. I like we have seen for the first time Roots and Lamb playing together. Great. Lucchesi played actually well in the field. Line out, it's more complicated. It was only his fault actually, because the line out, defensive line out of the All Blacks was really good, but we found a new Trulla, let's say, mentally stronger Trulla than before. More relaxed player. He knows how he's gonna work around the field. A great Ioane. I mean, we're pushing in the right position. Sad to have not seen Zambonin, if I have to tell you, because he's a player. I'm sad to know that Yagic is not gonna be available for the rest of the season. So
Probably Six Nations, yeah.
No chances for the Six Nations. Favretto show a little bit what he can give to this team as another player. Let's see Canaria was gonna. So I think a lot of players were around, and I like also bringing Di Bartolomeo staying with the team, Montemauri staying with the team. Those are all positive for this young group of players that you have to pick. Odiase soon maybe, which is another one. But mentally strong means that for me. A lot of situation where the player said, yes, I'm ready for it. I'm going to take charge. Some stuff didn't work well. Some players didn't show their best in some areas, but still good. Still positive, Mike.
Yeah, I want to tell you. I think it was Conor O'Shea on a different podcast. But he said something which really resonates with me. And when he got his first cap, his first Irish cap, he says the person handing it to him is like, I'll give you more. It was like, I'll give you more respect when you're dropped and you come back. And he was like, oh, that's a really weird thing. He thought that was a really weird thing to say, but then actually, like, he understands when you get dropped, you either react and you improve, or you sulk and you don't. So, like he was saying, like the first cap, this is the easy bit. Like you've got a cap, right? That's great. Now is the point where you have to try and keep getting those caps and like deserve to be picked. So there's some players who've been on the fringe for a long time, and they'll get their opportunity and they'll get that first cap. But then, like, like the analogy he gave was like, okay, so now it's up to you. It's your responsibility to be picked. It's your responsibility to keep being picked. It's your responsibility to come back if you're not being picked. So, Zambo, a lot of love for that kid. I think he's still brilliant player. I think he's going to be someone who's going to be, causing headaches real soon. But at the end of the day, it's his responsibility. He needs to react. Like he was called up and he didn't get a single minute. So like, now it's up to him, right? So things like that, mate. I think it's important that the players now go back to Zebre, go back to Benetton, go back abroad, and they perform. That's what we want to see, right?
Man, I want to see that. I want to see message like this. Trula was great. Pani coming back. Pani that was with Alissa Dinka and Sergio Paris, the Italian representative there. But good to see how Pani comes back. They're talking about Pani. Yes, of course they give other opportunities. Another player like him. Let's see, Jesse, I was gonna keep going because, man, the tackles that Ioane put in the last games, but his physicality in defense, they have something all our wings have to achieve. The pressure he put in defense, everybody needs to put it there. But even on the right side of on the right wing, I think that is spot on the way he's working on. So it's really interesting. You know what I like too from last weekend? The answer that Brex gave in the pre-match, saying, "Oh, finally somebody's talking positive about us." That give you, first of all, the guts to say that, even if
Oh, he
it's
doesn't
funny,
care.
because Brex is always
Yeah.
funny, but he doesn't care. He wants to say
Yeah.
stuff. He said that.
Yeah.
Lovely,
Good.
lovely point for him, and how how positive is also his attitude in the front of the cameras. It's something that I like. Lamar is always a little bit more
reserved. Yeah.
he's more
Brex
reserved.
doesn't care.
Brex is more,
I like that. Yeah, I agree
Brex
with
is
you.
more il cazzone, come si dice da me.
Yeah.
Cioè, that looks like more funny in general.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not, but it's funny this other style to see him.
Polar opposites, isn't he? Like Lamar was like really political. Like Lamar was the kind of guy that would become a federation president in the future. But Brex is like, oh, okay, all right. Okay, you like as you brought it up, I'm going to talk about it, and he does not give a fuck. Like, it's nice to see leaders emerge. I said obviously to you that during the Georgia game, it was really interesting to see Lamaro getting, unfortunately, like off the pitch, from an early point, because you see who are the leaders. Like, there's obviously captains, vice captains, and everything, which is announced and dictated by the coach. But sometimes it's good and interesting to see just how players organize themselves and where the leaders emerge. So, like we spoke about Seb last week with his immense carries, and I think Brex has really sort of emerged, and it makes me less concerned about how we're gonna. Oh, come on! At least I got a bit of humor about me. Simone, why are you doing me dirty here, man?
Then it's gonna be Paris in the mix too. Don't worry. Yes.
But my point is, like, Brex has really sort of shone in like this point where we needed leadership, and it's going to be interesting to see sort of now who else can do that. Garbisi obviously talks a lot, he talks really eloquently. Sometimes you need someone who can just make light-hearted of stuff and really put a point across, like you said, Otto. So I 100% agree with you.
Mike, we were talking, we said already that probably 2-3 players, they are not enough for the one that really were positive during this Autumn Nation series for Italy. But we agree on some of them, some are
I think I don't think the thing is, the third is so hard, right? But I think what we do is, if we make a poll on our Twitter, right? So we'll do the two that we agree on, and then the third one we'll say these are the nominees, our nominees. If someone comes up with a better nominee, also add it. We might add it to the poll. Name, put it in the YouTube comments as well, gents. But Otto, do you want to start off with our two, and then we'll go through like the nominees?
So let's say we said a couple. Let me see what is on the chat on the phone, because
so
sure.
For context, gents, whilst Otto's pulling this up, Otto said in this pod, what we're going to try and do is our top 3 Italians from this tour. And immediately, I think Otto and I had the same top 2, but I think we probably have, and actually the third name both of us came up with, but I also think there's probably a few more players that were equal to that, and it'd be really interesting to have you guys vote and let us know your thoughts and sort of engage with us on this. So yeah, go ahead, Otto.
No, it was tricky because we said the third, but then you put the other options there, and yes, it's true actually. Of course, let's say Ioane or Ioni, as he used to be called by. Remember, they call it on TNT Sport Ioni, and then who used to call him like that? Crowley, Ioane Ioni, and the other one is Big Ross Vincent, man.
Yeah. Felt like a coming of age for Vincent. Obviously, again, we're speaking about taking opportunity. With Cannone, obviously Canoncino, by the way, being injured. We had Vincent. Simone. Okay, right, cool.
Look,
so yeah,
there.
and there we go. So it's funny because I can see already in the chat a few of the names that, and this is why I think we're going to have it to vote. But let me find the ones that I was
Menoncello, Negri Vincent by Christopher.
There we go. Yeah.
Ioane Vincent, Menoncello Simone. Both really, I agree with them because those are other names that we said. Who's the third one?
So we had obviously Negri. We both said Negri. But then there's also Lam, Menoncello, Nicodera. I thought had a good game as well. Obviously, I know it's hard to judge because like how poor we were as a team against Argentina, and you know, a lot of the time the front rows were getting punished in both the Argentina game and the New Zealand game. So it's tough, but I did think he was busy around the park. So realistically, I think we agree, Ioane, Vincent, and the options that we'll put on the poll on Twitter is going to be Negri, Lam, Menoncello, Nicodera. Anyone else that you want to add? Brex,
probably not everybody gonna agree because we saw him playing well, but we didn't.
Who are we putting in for the vote though? Who are we putting in for the vote? That's the thing. So, I think those four are probably concrete, right? So we'll put something on. If you guys have a better idea of someone who you know we haven't mentioned and you want in, let us know, because obviously again, you know, Garbisi is a really good shout as well. Yeah, so we'll put them in and then you guys can decide.
Because of course we were putting in Menoncello in this Man 15s for us. That is the other thing about this. But we're gonna go back there in a few minutes to those. But honorable mention Nicodera, Garbisi. Thank you, Simone, for the book, because we are chatting about. So, guys, Christopher, Paolo, that I saw now. If you have to grade Garbisi, how was his Autumn International? I think was a pretty honest. 3 games for.
I want to hear you out of 10, Otto.
Out of 10, 7, 6.57. Like, good, well done. Say 7. 7. Okay, great, guys, perfect. So I'm just right in the middle. Sei e mezzo pieno. Sei e mezzo. Yeah, something like that. What do you think about this Out of Nation series, Mike?
I just don't think he had the opportunity to attack. I for me, right, I can't judge a halfback just without the pairing, like, because often, you know, it's so they're intrinsically tied, right? So like you get a poor pass off your 9 and you lose like that second.
The pressure. And
right, and especially with these blitz defenses, you know, people are really aggressive getting up for the line. Like if the passes aren't accurate and the passes aren't quick, then it's really hard to judge like the 10 in attack. What I will say is in defense, I think Garbisi is one of the best defensive 10s in the world. Like I will say that, and I'll say that I'm pretty confident on that. But we need to see more in attack. Whether the issue is the ball that he's getting, whether the issue is his decision making, I think it's really tough for us to analyze without having that clean ball and, you know, that more sort of consistent ball in attack. So for me, I think 7 is perfect, but that's because of the attack. If you're focusing purely on defense, it'd be like a 9 for me. But obviously,
he did a really couple of great tackles anyway.
Yeah,
that is something we have to think.
Yeah. Some try savers for sure.
Yeah, was bad. Like, let's say not bad, but it happened. For example, with the Roygard try, he moved outside. He just left that area because I have to go cover there. Inside, it should be already closed that.
That one stung me though, because their player was offside on the floor, like it made space, he could just step over, and like it was just
a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff, yeah. Like, I mean, it was a great try. It was a scrum half try, right? And it was beautiful, right? But like, it wasn't because he didn't interrupt play. By the letter of the law, he wasn't offside, right? Like, but also, if a defender's trying to come around the ruck to tackle him because the ball's lifted, you can't do that, right? So like, there was like these things where just like these little subtleties, but then the awareness from he is such a talented player. Like, we're probably going to be talking in 5 years' time of Cam versus Dupont, right? Like, in terms of like where he's at, he's such a talented scrum half, and he's so young.
He's really good. He's really good. Nothing to say. Like our young Menoncello that we decided to put in the top 15 because of course we have to put him in the 2024. Sorry, Jesse Creel, but we're gonna put Menoncello there.
Sorry, mate. We might have to cut you out.
They're not that different style of player, if you think both of them. Even Allende, like Menoncello, resume a little bit of both. That kind of style he play. Maybe I don't know the hands still, because the Menoncello we have seen this November was the full powered one. I think.
Yeah, no, that's an area of game he needs to develop, doesn't he? Like, to be a better rounded player, he needs to have those passes.
But I'm really ready. So Menoncello was there, Mike. So we sorry guys, sorry South African friends. Trust me. It's hard for me to put Menoncello over South African. Jokes aside.
I was going to say, right, for us, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this team and say who we would change, because
you did a great call, and I love that call you did for the number 10. So I agree with you.
Yeah. So we'll start off number 10. So for me, right, and first, before I say it, I'm basing it on 2024 form and or the impact of this player on the team. Okay, so for me, I genuinely think Albornoz has been more impactful to world rugby than Mackenzie has been for the All Blacks. As in, Albornoz has come in. Argentina have an attacking identity. They have this style of play that really suits them, and it seems to me that it's starting to click in all of the right ways. And I think he's in the middle of a lot of what's good in Argentina. So for me, and not because he's he plays for Benetton, just because genuinely what I've said.
Albornoz takes Benetton, Mike.
Well, also he does play for Benetton. He better be playing for Benetton like he played for Argentina. If not, I don't want him back.
But how many times it happened that Albornoz was the guy that take the chestnut off the fire, leva le castagne dal fuoco, like save the situation with a couple of good reads in attack, cover, stay goal in defense, right? Like a good chip kick. He does that kind of stuff. So yes, more impactful player. Albornoz more than Mackenzie. Agree or disagree, Mike? That's a great call, I guess.
Again, listen, like with these, I think we probably put this snippet out, and then we'll put like a little vote for people to vote in whether they agree or disagree. Obviously, I think we're vastly outnumbered by the South African social media following for rugby. So regardless, Krill, it looks like you're probably going to stay in there, mate. I won't worry too much, but please vote for Menoncello.
So we put a couple of them. Then we were talking something about the like Matera.
Yeah.
To be there or not? We were not sure, right?
Not for me. No way. He's like, if we're talking, like in FIFA where we get prime Matera from 2022 or 2021 in lockdown where they play at New Zealand, and he's saying they're disrespecting my badge, they show no respect to us. Bring him in, that's fine. But we're talking 2024, and he's been slightly above average, I'd say, for 2024. I don't think
he got a couple of great games, but he also got
He's not even the best back row in Argentina. I thought Gonzalez has been exceptional, like this 2024, like club and country, right?
He's one of our crash Gonzalez. So yes,
mate, I think he's so good.
More than because then of course you put Van der Fleer is gonna be good every time. The other name to the impact he give to the team when he play is Cunningham South. We said
yes,
that is another 6 that probably think about how young it is and how impactful it is for the road. Is the 6 that they were, let's say, waiting. They put Ludam there for the World Cup, and now he seems like to be the player that you need there, as you need Ben Earl.
Yeah, I think they missed Laws. Like they miss what Laws brings, and although Cunningham South hasn't shown it in defense, like if I had to pick a player that I've seen that is most like Courtney Laws, right? A young Courtney Laws, it's Cunningham South, right? Let's be really honest. I wouldn't have put Earl in Eduardo because I think Earl's been honestly, like as good as he was in the Six Nations, I think he's been pretty poor in the summer, and now I know he scored yesterday, but like we're talking about net positive and like what he can bring to the team. I think he's been below his normal standard, which obviously we've come to expect quite a lot of. And frankly, I think if he wasn't in the team, would it really have impacted England too much? Probably not. Obviously, a couple of like last minute losing penalties are because of him. I think, in fact, there's 2 that you can attribute to like 2 no arm tackles in exactly the same position for 2 of the games as well. So for me, probably not Earl, but I'm happy with Otavio's Chandler, Cunningham, South, CCS in at 6.
And then I think from 1 to 5.
I think we're happy with 1 to 5 right now. There's not too much we can say. Marks, maybe.
Another mention was Tuipulotu for the Allende. 12 that can be an option. Then we said something about Low, Bielbarri, you said.
Yeah.
So how we ended up the season, actually, because finally for Bordeaux, great season. Anyway, he played well.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's quite obvious, what Damien Penaud brings, and I think the French are always going to be missing someone like him, and Bielbarri comes in and he's just torn it. He's just ripping up trees at the moment, and he looks like he could be Capuozzo's brother as well. If Capuozzo put scrum cap on and played for France, I don't think people would realise.
A little bit bigger, but yes, they are so similar.
Listen. Let's get him a week. We can call him Capuozzo Junior. So it's fine. We get him in. No one needs to know, right? He can play a couple of games for us if he's bored. But yeah, mate, what a fantastic young player he is, and mate, he just looks the real deal, doesn't he? He looks and again so young, like so young. Was he 22 years old, 21 years old? Jesus. In fact, actually, Bar Albornoz, the 3 players that we spoke about, right? Chandler Cunningham himself, Menoncello, and Bielbarri, all really young, all really, really young.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's the issue.
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe not in a couple of years. Who
knows, mate? Maybe we'll be talking about something else.
Looks ready, like they're players that already show from last year already. They are coming in a certain way, right? They're doing the right steps. And let's see what other steps we're gonna take, because Mike, it's already URC week.
Yes.
So the bad news for Benetton for this week is, of course, Lamaro's out. Iachizzi and season-ending injury, and Cannone is out for a month. So some players are gonna be out. How many you think they're gonna be in the list for this weekend? Ratav is back. Odogu is ready. Probably Linag is gonna play because he didn't play 2 games, I guess.
Yeah. Izagor, because he came off the bench, he'll probably be starting. Listen, I know it's bad.
Ferrari wondering there. Avaca How is Nemer?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's not ready
Questions,
yet.
mate.
It's not ready yet because he didn't play. But Krevi is gonna be Krevi time, which is
Yes.
pumping. Krevi
Yes.
time there. Wondering if the center is gonna be giving you my heads up for Edinburgh. Ratave.
Do you think?
Odogu Lainag. Ratave played last
I
week.
would love that. I genuinely, I want to see a dog who play more centre. I know what he can do on the wing. I want him to see more centre because he's abrasive. It's good ball carrier, gain line breaker. Know what he can do. Like, because I watched him at Wasps all those years ago. Like, mate, I think he's like that. That's where I want him to see. I'd prefer to see him. I'd prefer to see him at centre than I would wing. Personally, that's me. That's me.
No, it's interesting because the Bortlami has to find the right way to put together the players between coming back
And injuries
from the national and stuff.
One thing I want to say, right, just on the point that you raised, which was like, oh god, like Lamar or like, and then we spoke about Ganon as well. Like, realistically, right at the start, we said about players finding and having an opportunity. Now's a perfect opportunity,
Of
right?
course.
Like Isakor, come on, mate. Like, you're never going to get a better opportunity to show what you can do from the start of the game than now. Like, let's be honest. So he takes that opportunity. He like is and realistically, there's not many games between now and the Six Nations. So come on, mate, show everyone what you can do. But yeah, Negri, bless him, mate. He needs time off. He has put in a shift. So I'm hoping he doesn't play this weekend, or at least he doesn't start and he's on the bench for him because he has put in like some shift. Like, he's been so busy.
Favretto will play, probably Snyman, Favretto, Scrafton, the props, I'm wondering, but then Uren is ready, Umag is ready, 15 is there, even Gallagher
Zilocchi?
could play probably.
Reckon he's back?
Zilocchi probably is back, yeah. Pasquale, I think, is back too.
Oh, He-Man.
He-Man is back on that side. On the other side, Mike, Zebre Ospreys.
Mm-hmm.
Zebre Ospreys with Drago.
Mate, this should be a game that they're looking to win.
So, yes, another game. They have everybody, let's say. Of course, Spaniol, Fischetti is not there, but still, Trula is not there, but you have the rest of the team you can put out.
Yeah.
You can put out a really good team. If he's not back, there is Gregory can play wing. On the other side, there's going to be Jesi Bozzoni, name for Simone Bozzoni.
Prisciantelli.
Prisciantelli 15. Yes, he's already.
Montemauri. Mate, like they've got like
they have the team out ready.
They're ready. Yeah.
So.
They've already posted the team up.
No, they already know. It's Monday, but like it's the team know really well where to work or focus on what. Yeah. I think it's gonna be interesting this week. Hopefully, better. Let's hope for a 2 Italian win. Actually, one in the Limburg. It's really tough to go play there, but it's and a chance and opportunity, as you said, they have to embrace and take. I think because you have to still push to the top for the playoff.
I know we don't have much time left, but I know a lot of people like the speculation bits that we sometimes talk about as well, like after we speak the factual stuff. But hypothetically speaking, right, like more noise about Zebre, where they're going to play, what's going to happen, how much money he's contributing, some publications talking about city money stuff. What if the players don't want to move?
My God.
What if the players don't want to move? What are they going to do?
Man, if
that's a real consideration though. Like, I think about it a lot. Like, your dad, I'm a dad. Imagine if someone was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're going to have to like move," fucking
in the fog.
Yeah, into Chernobyl. Into Chernobyl, right? Into Veneto, and then help Trump build a wall. So that there's no one else that can play rugby outside of Veneto, right? Just have him there. But joking aside, like,
You
what
need a
if the players,
passport to go in.
mate,
Like,
like
if
their
you
kids
need a
go to
passport.
school. Like, what are they meant to do, mate? Like, their kids go to school, everything, like family, the works, like genuinely. I was thinking about this earlier. I'm like, what if they outright was like, no? Okay, you can stay in Parma.
Man, this
It's just
question
funny.
is hard. I would like to hear from the president about what
Yes.
is gonna be
When's the
the focus.
90-day review? Do you remember the 100-day review? Where it is? It's got to be soon, right?
I think before the end of December. I think.
Nice. I
And
think we'll learn more there, won't we?
and then let's see, because the 16th of November there was the assembly in Genova, and we said, okay, if somebody's interested about Zebre, here we go, you can.
Put 'em
But
on eBay.
then here we go. We can get coupon. We can buy with coupon.
I think what we need to do, like, guys, listeners, what we need to do is let's pool in our resources, right? Let's start a GoFundMe. Let's buy Zebre off the Federation, and let's let the fans own Zebre. And then you know what? Let's do that. They put it on eBay. So like, we just need to create an account and buy it off eBay. It's fine.
Less than a beer, easy, like our Patreon.
Easy. Yeah. It's all going towards buying Zebre. Join our Patreon, because that's the we're slowly working our way towards ownership of Zebre. So yeah.
But
if you,
honestly, your stake, Mike, it's gonna be. I don't know how happy around they're gonna be a lot of people. Because it's a little bit of nonsense. People can feel like really bad about that. I think about those guys that wave flags and everything, even if when they were losing all the games last year. That sucks if they're gonna move. Let's see how clever how wise is gonna be. The turning pointer on that. But seriously,
I think perfect point to close that discussion. But it was interesting. One thing I will say, right, because it's coming up in conversation.
What's that? You went to stadium, right?
Yeah, but now it's basically ours now, isn't it? We've played there once. It's ours now.
Really nice atmosphere, the stadium,
mate. Like, it looked insane. Like, it looked, Menoncello's try, and it just erupted. Like, that gave me like 1990 like football vibes, you know, like when watching like
when the stuff goes, when the things were nice and good.
Just like, do you know what I mean though? Like, it's nostalgic, because obviously I used to watch that with my dad as well. Like, it just gave me that feel where, like, it was just patriotism and like happiness, and it was about rugby, and it just felt really good. So fair play to everyone who went there and, you know, made a noise, and everyone who was respectful of Sam Cane as well, which was quite nice. Like, you got a standing ovation. Yeah, it
was. Mamma mia. So, Mike, we're gonna see each other next week for the review of the new URC round. My God.
Yes.
Scotland, Italy, Wales, Italy. We need to win. Come on. 2 victories to be extra happy. Nothing else to say.
We need to build on, you know, what we've done. So yeah.
No more injuries, guys. No more injuries, because we're good with that. And let's see. Mike, thank you for being here with me tonight too. And that's the last episode of Fratelli Rugby. Check on every platform. We're gonna put it back on Spotify this, and of course, give us a like, subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on X and Instagram. Ciao a tutti.
Keep an eye out for the votes as well.
Yes. Buonanotte. Ciao ciao.
Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast.